Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhetamastu Mavid Vishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you. May He protect us both, the teacher and the thought, together by revealing knowledge. May He protect us both by vouchsafing the results of knowledge. May we attain vigor together. Let what we are studying be invigorating. Om, peace, peace, peace. The Katha Upanishad, we are on the 13th verse, first chapter, first section, 13. Sattvang agnim svargamadhe shimratyo prabrohe tvam shraddhadanaya mayam svargaloka amritatvam bhajanta etadvitiyena vrinevarena. O death, such as you are, you know that fire which leads to heaven. Of that you tell me, who am full of faith. The dwellers of heaven get immortality. This I ask for through the second boon. As we've seen, to kind of recap a little, the first boon was asked and given by the god of death. And the boon was that the boy's father, who is now on earth, may he become free from anxiety. May he sleep without any kind of thought, what is this boy doing out there, when he goes and meets the god of death, etc. And the second boon was, he wants to know about heaven. We all have our goals, yes, but now and then these heavens have been kind of pushed down on us as the ultimate goal of what? Of life. And he wants to know that the difference between the heavens spoken in the Vedas is, these are ultimately transitory. If this world is transitory, that world also has to be transitory, because it has something called a name and form. And wherever there's a name and form, there will come time and space and the laws of causation. By the second boon, Nachiketa apparently is kind of, I want to know about heaven. You know the means to heaven, you tell me. And Yama, the god of death, he obliges him. I'll tell you, I know it. But the Upanishad itself, the Vedas are teaching us, from the first boon, this world, see, until and unless we know this world, know what it can offer, you can't transcend it. So, the first boon was his father's anger might subside. Well, that's a kind of a symbolic way of saying, this world is brought by this first boon. I know what it contains, I know what its limits are. The second boon is the very heights of relative existence. Yeah. Is there something called heights of relative existence? Yes, of course. Even in our lives, we notice that we are conscious of things more in certain times of the day, or with certain people, or certain circumstances or situations. Other things are all relative to us. Everything else becomes secondary. So, in this year, this world has been shown as heaven. The word is translated as heaven, but actually it shows the extent, the complete extent of relative existence. Because there is not one heaven, there are many heavens. Suppose I asked you, where do you stay? Well, I stay in Santa Barbara. Oh yeah. It also implies that you stay in California and in the US and in the world and in this galaxy and in this whole universe. We don't see the other implications. So when Nachiketa asks, what is this heaven? It's indicative of all the other levels of existence which surround and encapsulate this what he is asking. The next hidden implication is this, that he wants to know what is the result of both work and meditation combined together. But this is a big topic in the Indian scriptures. Finally, Vedanta says you have to give up all work if you have to realize the ultimate. What is work? It's sacrificial work or any other work which engages, where there's a subject and object. In every worship, even here, there are two parts. One is the external and one is the internal. Both are complementary. If both are not done correctly, you don't get the correct results of that worship. So by this boon, he also wants to know the secret of the combination of rites and duties and meditation. So we'll get into it, what exactly these meditations are. But as you said, why did the Upanishad speak of him as asking heaven? Why not something else? Well, you see, pleasurable things are very difficult to renounce. Oh yes. Painful things are very easily renounced. Yeah. So the Upanishad is telling us, he kind of asks for where does these rites and meditation lead us to? With the heaven. And he never asked about the various hells. That is supposed to be understood. Yeah, it will give you an automatic revulsion. Who wants to go to those hells? And we have multiple hells. We don't have one. Like we have multiple heavens. We are not satisfied with one. We have one God. Why you want to stick to one God? Have multiple gods. One life. Why one life? Have multiple lives. What's wrong with you? And even hells and heavens and all these others. So this is one thing. But in another place in the Upanishad, it is clear that all these relative existences, the superior relative existences, they are subject to decay. They are subject to change. They are subject to disappearing. Now you ask, are these kind of higher worlds, do they exist or something like that? Well, they are superior because the boon asked was, one rejoices in the heavenly world after crossing over sorrow. There is an enumeration of the bliss in these heavenly worlds. This world first is taken as a kind of a starting point. If there is a young person who is well read, who is cultured, who is kind of saintly, and who rules over the whole world, that is one unit of human happiness. Well, my God, so what are we doing with? We get a little crumbs here and there. This is one unit of human bliss experience. A young person who's well read, cultured, and who rules this whole world. Is the king of the whole world. That is one. Multiplied by 100, there is a higher world called Manushya Gandharva. There is a higher world. Their bliss is 100-fold more. Yeah. And then multiplied 100 more. There is called a Deva Gandharva. Why? And then multiplied 100 more. And Ajana Jana Devata. There's lower kind of gods. And then multiplied 100 more. And there's these gods. And they keep on multiplying. There are 11 kind of stages where the bliss increases 100-fold more. So here Nachiketa knows that in the higher worlds the experience of bliss is tremendous. And as he has said, he knows that there is no hunger and thirst, no old age and disease, and death of course is not there. You are not there. What does a person do? Keeps on experiencing bliss. You don't need to be doing to experience bliss. You can just be and experience bliss. That's what these higher worlds are. And he says that, you see, I am full of faith. In the third or fourth verse, he said, faith entered into him. Shraddha Avivisha. As we have seen, Swami Vivekananda says that if you believe in all your 330 million gods and you don't believe in yourself, there is no hope for you. You are an atheist. He is an atheist who does not believe in himself. The old religion said he is an atheist who does not believe in God. The new religion says he is an atheist who does not believe in himself. There it is. So Nachiketa is eminently qualified. He says, I've got faith. Yeah, I'm full of faith. You tell me, I'll listen. And I want to know it. If this kind of confidence is not there within oneself, it's very difficult to undertake any kind of studies or meditation or to learn about anything. So he's saying, oh, that's such as you are, you know that fire that which leads to hell. How does he say that there's a fire? Yes, in the old days, like Swami Vivekananda says, when a person dies, what happens? This is the beginning of religion. Yeah. And religion began with all these rituals after death. What happened? This person was here and suddenly this person has disappeared. And in many places they used to cremate the dead. And cremation involved fire. And he said, it is this fire that takes this person up there in those superior worlds, in the land of the forefathers, you know, like these the happy hunting grounds and all this. Yeah. And the Norwegians also, they are the happy hunting grounds. They're kind of a boar that is hunted, killed, carved, eaten, roasted and eaten, and next day the boar takes a shape again and runs away, and all the, you can say, the people, they hunt it down. It's a kind of a daily occurrence. That's what they used to do, and that's what they want to do in heaven. The idea of heaven is completely different from what you think. You want a place which is minus all the negative things in the world. It's not like that. You will have your identity, you have everything about you, and you will be in a place where you will be nice and calm. I'll meet your old friends. Hello, how are you? You remember that party there we had? Christmas party? Let's have a Christmas party. No. So, this Nachiketa, he wants to know about the fire. Fire was a carrier. Carry him, O fire, in your arms gently. Give him a bright body, a shining body. Take him to where the fathers live. And as Swami Vivekananda says, religion kind of gave a place, a reward for a good life here in those places called heaven. And why? He's saying, yeah, where the forefathers live. So the beginnings of religion were in two phases. One was ancestor worship. A person dies, he's not dead, but he moves around here. We have the Halloween and all Saints Day. And, so you see. So that person goes there and then he's there. It's more or less like us only. So this fire was a kind of a carrier. Later on, they found higher and higher metaphysical ideas about this carrier, this fire, the God who is the first worshipped as the firstborn. Who is the firstborn? It can't just be fire. It has to be someone else. We'll come down to it because it speaks about the firstborn as the universal person, the Virat. And his symbol on earth is fire. And in the skies, his symbol is the sun. And in the intellect, his symbol is in that shining intelligence. So, what you call is enlightenment. So this, he's saying, of that you tell me who am full of faith. As I say, the dwellers of heaven get immortality. Yes, immortal. They are the immortals. And we have seen how the conceptions, the first conceptions of the soul was a double. There's, in all religions there was the idea, yes, I am here and there's a kind of a double within me. And that's what Swami Vivekananda says that the Egyptians built those huge pyramids. If this body is preserved somehow, that body will also be preserved. The subtle body. So the idea of a soul was, yeah, it's a kind of a me, because I can't relinquish my ideas of identity. So there's a double. And everywhere you'll find the ideas of a double. Probably the double will sprout some wings, but that's a later addition. We do not know if they do that. Some doubles, they sprout a tail, kind of. But as they kept on understanding what is the double made, it's just another kind of material body. A subtle body is subtle, but it's material. And they went higher and they found another body, a superior body. They call it the causal body, the Karana Sharira. And still they went higher, poked in through that causal body, and they found the first ideas of the soul were generated. So in India, religion started here. It never started there, studying outside. Who made this earth and who made this skies and plains, all these things? No. It started here. So religion started here. That's the, you can say, reason why the most sublime ideas of the individual soul and cosmic soul were generated. They studied themselves. They went inside. They never bothered who has created this world. That is kind of, they say that there is something called nature. Nature is a self-correcting, self-organizing, you can say, mechanism. You don't have to bother about that. She will create things, destroy things, recycle things. We are not so much interested in that. What exactly happens here? Where does this person go? And what is this person? And as I said, they kept on discovering higher and higher aspects within the human frame till they came up to the individual soul. And then the individual soul also was dissected and trisected and bisected, and they found that individual soul hid another huge aspect of divinity called the universal soul. That is how religion started this, the search. Here Nachiketa is going through those same old patterns of inquiry. And that's why he's saying, the dwellers in heaven get immortality. Well, the moment you have a body, whether subtle or causal, you have to locate it within a time frame and a place also. So if you have a body, you have to locate it. Where exactly is the location? Well, yes, gross body is here, and the subtle body has to be somewhere else. That also is bound. Later on, as we will see how these things are discarded for the higher aspects of reality. So Nachiketa asking this boon has the hidden implication of he wants to know the extent of the relative universe of name and form. The 14th verse is Prate bravimi tadume nibodha Swargam agnim nachiketa prajanan Ananta lokaptimato pratistham Vidhi tametam nihitam guhayam. Oh Nachiketa, being well aware of that fire that is conducive to heaven, I shall tell you of it. That very thing you understand with attention from my words. That fire which is the means for the attainment of heaven and which is the support of the world, know it to be established in the intellect of the enlightened ones. Now, do we go searching for that fire? Oh, I know you are that fire. Tell me the secret. No. He tells him the means. The fire is the means, but where exactly is it located? Where exactly do I search for it? In the intellect of the enlightened ones. Why? Well, the enlightened ones know, and we do not know. Till now, we never knew. Oh, that fire that takes us to heaven, it resides in the intellect of the enlightened ones. Why our intellect? Yes, we do not know till now, but we will know. So it is here. As I said earlier, that he wanted to know the results of meditation and the methods of meditation. Here, he is the Lord of Death, Yama. He is giving him the idea. There are two main types of meditation. One is meditation on an image or a symbol. It is called pratikopasana. It's externalized. Though it's in the mind, yet it's external. There is another type of meditation called ahamgraha. You try to grasp your own individuality. That is the ahamgraha. Aham is I, the feeling of I, and graha is to grasp it, to hold it, to understand it. Here, this is the method of meditation given. Ordinary people do not know where exactly you need to find this fire will take us to heaven. Well, you have to do meditation, simple as that. And then you will be able to find out it is the year that So this fire, like the fire of enlightenment, if you would like. Then another meaning in this verse is that fire which is the means for the attainment of heaven and which is the support of the world. Now, what is the fire that is the means to go to those higher worlds and also the support of this world? It represents the firstborn, like I was saying. It is, the firstborn is Virat. It's like you are so kind of identified with your body, your name and with your body. If you can disengage your name from your body and hold on to the sense of existence, that is called Aham Graha Upasana. And this is the means for attaining not only this world, but for anything. We will come down to it slowly, because the firstborn has to be universal. It cannot be Adam or Eve. Yeah, it's not possible. He's the firstborn. Is it Adam? No. The firstborn in Indian philosophy has to be universal, cosmic, where everything else is included in that reality. So that firstborn identifies with the whole universe. This is, and the fire is his symbol. As I said before, that the visible symbol of that is this fire here that we know. The visible symbol, another visible symbol is that fire out there, the sun. It's a symbol. And another symbol is that intellect. And that is why the Bhagavad Gita also says, what is the highest meditation? What is samadhi? When, like a lamp which is lit in a windless place and the flame is not disturbed by that wind, that is the highest state. Yata deepo nivatasya nengate somava. Yogin, this is a state of samadhi. This is the samadhi is yoga. Yoga is knowledge. So when your whole individual existence has become still, then you will get the highest knowledge. That's the reason why this is saying this fire, this symbol is hidden in the intellect of the enlightened ones. When Yama says, saying, yeah, I am aware, I know of that fire that is conducive to heaven. And like I explained, Santa Barbara and California and the US and the whole levels of existence. So don't just take heaven is there in one place and then we'll stay forever and ever and ever. Amen. In Indian philosophy, you attain those states of existence because of your good deeds. And the good deeds take you up there. reach you out there, and when they're exhausted, you know what happens to the rocket fuel when it's exhausted? Inglorious, you can say, entry. It goes up with all the glory and the power, and then comes with the tailspin down. That's how people return. People in the sense souls. So you have exhausted your good karma, you can't get down now. The reason is this world is the best place for enlightenment. Not in those higher superior worlds. Because here the balance, you can say, of pain and pleasure and joy and sorrow and all the dual throng is so finely balanced, it will wake you up much easier than in those. Yes. We have this world is horrible and this. You don't even know what's the world made up of. This is the best place to get educated. This is the best school. And why don't you go through those motions? Why don't you get educated? And as you keep on learning your lessons, you will know there is nothing higher than this world. And there is nothing higher than this human body. And that's the reason why they say even the gods would like to become humans. That is why we say we have not properly evaluated our own physical existence. This is the best place, this is the best time, and what else do you want? So we come to this, and the reason why the boy is asking for the higher worlds, like I said, in order to know it, to know the highest reaches of relative existence, so that once you know it, you can discard it. In the first boon already, he has kind of guaranteed his return. Because my father's anger may subside, may he sleep peacefully, and may he recognize me when I return. There, he's already guaranteed his return. He has already discarded the world of the fathers. Saying he's a fool, he should have stayed on there. No, he knows. He wants to return to this world. But then what happened for the general public? People have various ideals, and the Vedas have to teach you that these things are all also present. Otherwise, what's the speciality of a scripture if it can't reveal certain things which you do not know? So there's a kind of a novelty in the revelations of the scripture. You did not know these things existed. Here it's mentioned in the scriptures. So this fire, which is the means to every kind of higher existence, is situated in your own intellect. The other day, there was a South Korean girl saying, talking about identity and this and that, and then finally said, then who am I? Who am I then? And I looked at her and saying, every sense of I is the I of God. It's cosmic. We have somehow contracted our own existence to this, my life, my likes, my dislikes, my this, my that, my this. And I've built a small world in which the sense my personal identity is a king there or queen out there. Not knowing that this is a part of the bigger, you can say, cosmic entity. So that universal sense of I belongs to that firstborn. Yeah. And where is that firstborn? There, everywhere. But where exactly? It is said in the intellect. Why intellect? Because we'll come down to it later. That is actually the location of your individual soul. Yeah, the individual soul is a combination of intelligence, your intellect, and the consciousness that's reflected in it. That is the individual soul. So bear with me for a little while till the theme starts unfolding. I know you are saying, how come it's there in this? The fire is there in my intellect and all that. But this is a kind of a radical departure. The Upanishads they have internalized certain rituals and certain external forms of worship. And that is why they are called Upanishads. This external religion and all this elaborate rituals that the people used to do, the Upanishads, by the time they came down to the Upanishad, all those ideas were internalized. So this is the process of internalization. And Nachiketa wants to know the bridge between the old rituals and the old hymns of the Vedas and the infinity. So this is the bridge where the old rituals are mixed with those meditations, the upasanas. Like I mentioned, in the worship, there is an external aspect. You might see the pujarini like throwing a flower, chucking a flower. What does it mean? To you, it's just throwing this flower here, throwing this flower, throwing this there. What's that? But you ask her what it means, then she'll tell, oh, it means like this. We do not know. Yes, that's the internal, that is where the ritual derives its power from. And so this is the bridge between that old ritualism of the Vedas and the goals set by the Upanishads. That is freedom or liberation from all degrees of limitations. That is where there is no more name, form or action. Where there is no more non-knowledge. There is only knowledge. Where there is bliss, and where there is bliss, there's tremendous bliss. I had spoken about the enumerations of this world. This is the index of bliss at 100-fold and keeps on getting 100 and 100-fold more. At the same time, the Upanishads say, Shrotriyasya chaka mahatasya. It's a tremendous statement. Why? Because like this bliss this young person has, if he rules the whole world, is young, learned, educated, everything, the same amount of bliss can be had by one who has studied the Vedas, Shrotriyasya, and one who is desireless. So if you keep on increasing all 100-fold, 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 right up to Tesham Brahmana Ananda, nothing. The same bliss can be had by a person who is desireless and who knows the Vedas. I mean, does he kind of repeat by heart, or you can say like a parrot? No. The person knows the spirit of the Vedas. And the Vedas means knowledge. So a person who is knowledgeable, spiritual knowledge of course, and one who is desireless, attains those very higher worlds here. You don't even have to go out there. So he's saying, what's like, Indra is the king of the gods. So what? So if you think, oh, you must be kind of, having a great grand time there. Yeah. In the various, you can say, mythological literature, here Indra also gets a little jealous of human beings and all that. So here you are, with all his heavenly, you can say, kingdom, he's still jealous and angry at times. What I'm trying to imply is the same bliss that Indra can get in his heaven, or Prajapati or Brihaspati, the guru of the gods, or the first, you can say, the Prajapati is the creator gods. Higher than is the same person who has knowledge here and who is desireless. And this is a tremendous statement made by the Upanishads. It occurs in two places. First in the Taittiriya Upanishad and also in the Mahanarayana Upanishad. So the enumeration of bliss is okay. But here in this person, here now, you can get the highest bliss. Where do you experience that bliss? In your own intellect. Yeah, you can. Do you experience bliss in your hand? No. It's like, suppose, can you define love? What's love is? And people have been writing about love and trying to define it. It's indefinable. It's abstract, yet it's there. It's tangible. Similarly, when you experience this bliss and this knowledge, it is there. It will transform you. A person who loves and a person doesn't love. Sri Ramakrishna, he asked one of his disciples, Swami Satyamayananda, whom do you love most? So he kept on thinking, I don't think I love anybody. Get out, you dry fellow! What a fool he is. And then Sri Ramakrishna used to tell Swami Vivekananda, I know you can't be just Jnani, the man of knowledge. Otherwise you will not have such features. This features tells me that you are a lover of God. There you are. So, it's there, it's intangible, but it's perceptible. There you are. So, in the intellect is that symbol. What symbol? Of your cosmic being, of your cosmic extension. Why don't you realize that? Well, that the whole Upanishad is trying to tell you that. Yeah, there. You hold on that. And if you can, you'll find yourself. There is a story. One monk is telling his congregation, you see, yesterday I had a dream. And there was another monk who came and he was beating me. Saying, hey, please, why are you beating me? No, I want to put you in samadhi. So I'm beating you. So this first monk said, why do you want to put me in samadhi? Samadhi is in me. Why should I be? The same thing had happened when there was the Swami who is now in Australia, Sydney. He was a young novice and he met one of the Holy Mother's disciples. So he asked, Holy Mother's disciple, Shantananji, quite old, have you seen Mother in Samadhi? So the Mother's disciple kept quiet. This young boy thought probably he never heard. Have you seen Holy Mother in Samadhi? And then third time also, Maharaj, have you seen? Shouting, Holy Mother. And the old monk got so furious. You fool! He went to beat him. What is why should Holy Mother go in Samadhi? Samadhi wasn't Mother. And Mother confers Samadhi on people. Why should Holy Mother go into Samadhi? So, Mother is infinite and the Samadhi is this. It is here. The another meaning of Samadhi is, Sama is to be kind of calm or silent or still. And the intellect. When the intellect is not whipped by external objects or by internal desires, when it becomes still, that is Samadhi. Nobody told you about this. Yeah. And that's the reason why the Koshiko is saying, I'm meditating on the Gayatri Mantra. Yeah. You know what the Gayatri Mantra prays for? May my intellect be awakened. Bhur bhuva sva tat savitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimai dhiyo yona prachodayat means to awaken. May my dhi. What is dhi? It's the same as buddhi, the intellect. May that intellect be awakened. That is the idea of this mantra. They never ask for, oh God, I've got a headache, please send me a doctor. I want a house, I want a job, I want to go to heaven. No. May my intellect be awakened. Then you'll find yourself universal. It's like a small fish, in a kind of a water tank, these small aquariums that you have. You take those fishes and put them in the big lake. What do? That stupid person had enclosed me. We are exactly like that. The moment we come out of our limitations, if we are shown the way out of our limitations, we simply rush out. That is what Yama, the god of death, is showing Nachiketa, the boy. It's here. Get out of this small, confined existence of yours. And if you can, this is the higher existences. We'll take the next. Lokadimagnim tamuvacha tasmai yaeshtaka yavatirva yatava sachapi tat pratyavadat yatoktam ata samrityo punarevahatusta. Yeah, the god of death was extremely pleased with Nachiketa. Saying, death told him of this fire that is the source of the world. Yeah, the source of the world, because it is the first symbol of the firstborn. The class and number of bricks as also the manner of arranging for the fire. And he, that is Nachiketa, too, repeated verbatim with understanding all these as they were spoken. Then death, being satisfied with this, said again. It's when you get a student, intelligent student, you see, you've made the teacher's day. And Yama has just got a excellent student, a brilliant student. This is not a simple sacrifice. It's quite elaborate. And he explained the whole process. The class and number of bricks and this and that and the arrangement. That was the old, you can say, pattern that was used. Later on it graduated into these, now what you call is the mandalas. The various mandalas, these are just remnants of that old Vedic sacrificial altars. And the class and number of bricks, 720. 720? Yeah, so big. Yeah. Every brick was one fire offering plus one meditation. 720, 365 into 2 makes 720. So every day, morning and evening, one had to sit down and meditate. That's why we say the Guru tells you morning and evening you must sit down and meditate. Why not? This was an old kind of tradition, the Agnihotra sacrifice. So every brick was one time that you meditated and performed the sacrifice. So 720. That is one whole year of sacrifice and meditation. And sometimes they used to be kind of put in a pattern of sometimes like an eagle, sometimes various kind of different heavens, and the bricks are kind of piled up to show up. Sometimes it represents a cosmos. Today's mandalas represent what? It's a mystic diagram. Where does it exist? It does not exist externally. This is the map of your spiritual journey. It's a mystical universe or spiritual universe as you would like, and you are commencing your journey from point A. And as you traverse the various lanes and by-lanes of the mandalas to reach the center, you are in a way traversing the regions of your own mind to come at the very center of your being. We are externalized, we are traveling up. You take any kind of pathway, but there is a well-defined path. But then, while it might be a maze, that's the reason why you need someone who knows the path, who can guide you there, or you'll be lost in a maze. And there have been cases where people get lost in the maze, and then lost in the maze, they get a few psychic powers and they are obstructed from proceeding further on. So these mandalas in today's world are nothing but maps of your own spiritual being, and you are supposed to travel up those pathways to reach the center of your being. So it came from these. That is the class and number of bricks. Of course, in the old days it was bricks, fire bricks. And also the manner of arranging for the fire. It was quite elaborate. That's the reason why when the disciple used to go to the Guru, he used to go with sacrificial wood in his hands, with the idea of serving. Serving what? That fire. Why is that so important? It just trickle down. Even in Sri Ramakrishna's life, you find Sri Ramakrishna, one of his Sri Ramakrishna's guru called Totapuri, who was his Advaita teacher. So he used to tend his sacred fire every day. And that was a ritual that had been inculcated from the very beginning. So one day, Hriday, he went and lit his kind of, hookah pipe, He wanted some burning embers for that hookah. So he goes and takes it. And Totapuri gets so furious, you fool! And these monks, these wandering monks, they carried something like iron pincer, just to hold embers and protect you from any kind of danger, animals or something like that. Very long. He went behind him to hit him. Sri Ramakrishna said, "Oh, you just are saying that this whole world is an illusion. And you're getting angry." He suddenly realized, "You're right. From today I will never get angry." And he did that. So that was of course it. But what I wanted to say is he also used to tend his sacred fires. Yeah. And that was the result, thousand years of that person. When a person dies, His cremation is done through the embers from that fire which he has or she has tended their whole life. Take that and use it as the fire to light up the pyre, funeral pyre. So this fire was held sacred. It was everywhere. The idea of sacredness, because in the early Vedic age, there was no such thing as image worship. There was no image worship. And the fire was considered an representation of these gods. So that's why at this time, during the fire sacrifice, after the whole Kali Puja, it could have been enough if the Kali Puja was over, everything is over. But no, you got to do that fire sacrifice. The Homa is essential. And then we do that. And Sarvadevansi, please repeat these mantras, thinking that Mother Kali is this fire. And everybody obediently repeating. Yes, that is the symbol. And it was only much later, after the Buddhistic, you can say, reform movements, that image worship actually became current in Vedanta, in Hinduism. Before that it wasn't. So the fire represented everything. So that's the reason why he wants to ask about his fire, where exactly it is, what is this, what is nature. This is what it could take you anywhere. That is the perfect rocket fuel for everything. I'll stop here for now, for today. And if you have any kind of questions, need clarification, we have a couple of minutes till the worship. No, you don't have a good. But like I said, as the Upanishad unfolds, all these heavens and all these hells and everything is discarded. And if you discard heavens and hells and everything, then you've got to discard even death. Yes, even death is discarded. And he'll come down to it. Yeah, he wanted to know the secrets of death from the God of death. And then the God of death himself gives him a transcendental vision of both life and death. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.